Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
What the hell are you people doing on my lawn? So it's pretty crazy that SpongeBob's been going on for like over 24 years now, right? Not a lot of shows do that. Okay, well maybe not really, because apparently there's a ton of shows that have lasted a very long time. Although it seems like most of them are soap operas and the news, which, okay, that makes sense. And also wrestling shows like WCW and the WWE. But I don't think all of that should count, because they all seem to be like exceptions to the rule. Which I mean is, they're not really like shows like SpongeBob. Here, let me try to explain my reasoning a bit. Take the WWE for example. That's on every week with like a few exceptions, but that's a live broadcast professional wrestling show in which I would compare it to the likes of the NFL or the NBA, you know? I wouldn't classify it as a show like Law & Order or The X-Files, which are actually TV shows made for TV with actors and showrunners, with Law & Order being the current longest running non-animated show in the US. But it actually has not been running longer than SpongeBob. Kind of. The spin-off series, Special Victims Unit, which I thought was the main series, started after SpongeBob did. The main series started in like 1990 and it has since ended. So for the sake of this argument, let's just forget about that. So if we only count animated shows, that puts SpongeBob on number 5, while being the second longest kids animated show. Arthur being number 1 on that, but that aardvark's days are numbered because that show ended and it only ran 25 years. SpongeBob has one more year before he passes that.
And it's only gonna take one more year, one more super duper year, one more super spectacular, extra magical, extra fantastical year.
The other 3 shows are more adult animated, but kids still watch them. Which you shouldn't, kids. Those shows are not appropriate for someone of your age, and you shouldn't. Anyway, my point is that it's really weird that a show like SpongeBob managed to last for so long. You know, a show about a sea sponge living in the ocean, and also has a dead-end job as a fry cook. Wackiness ensues. On paper, it doesn't really sound like the show would last more than 4 seasons. And technically, the show wasn't supposed to. The show's creator, Steven Hillenburg, after making the SpongeBob movie, which came out after like season 3, wanted the show to end so it wouldn't jump the shark. But because the show was super successful and profitable, and this was way before they would just cancel shows left and right for tax write-offs, Paramount wanted to keep the show going. So instead he just resigned as the series showrunner, and the show was running ever since. Some might say to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I stopped watching it around season 7. I actually started thinking the show wasn't as great as it was when it started around season 5. You know, when they kept making all those specials that were just terrible. But who knows? Maybe they started getting good again, but I highly doubt it. Anyway, where am I going with this? Am I going to talk about every episode of SpongeBob? Well, no, that would take far too long, and I would run the risk of Paramount breaking my kneecaps. So instead, I'm going to talk about the video games. When you have a successful kids show, it is possible, nay, inevitable, that you'll start to see merchandise and other forms of media of that show.
Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
And SpongeBob is 100% no exception. They started making games from the year 2000, and they're still making games to this day, with Cosmic Shake being the latest in 2023.
I'm ready.
Strolling through bikini bottom SpongeBob SquarePants freeze the Flying Dutchman. Help SpongeBob save the day. It's the SpongeBob SquarePants video game.
But today I'm only going to be talking about the first 3 games that the yellow guy starred in. Okay, hear me out. Okay, yeah, SpongeBob Super Sponge was the 3rd game released, and it's the only one of the first 4 games that I actually played when I was a child. But I feel like that game has enough in it to be its own video, while these 3 here do not have enough to make separate videos on. And technically, the first game SpongeBob was in was Nicktoons Racing, which was released in the year 2000, but I'm only going to talk about the first few games that was solely based off the show. But hey, if you want to see me talk about the other SpongeBob games, or just the other Nicktoon games, let me know by leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. Okay, finally into the review. The first game we're going to talk about is Legends of the Lost Spatula. It was developed by Vicarious Visions, who made games such as the PS1 Spider-Man games, and a lot of Game Boy ports of games like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, or the Crash GBA games. It also has a supporting developer, which I don't even know how that works, honestly, Engine Software, who specializes in handheld games and looks to mostly support Vicarious Visions in the early years. And the game was published by THQ, who is a really big game company up until they crashed and burned in 2012. But they held the SpongeBob license the entire time, and even when Nordic Games acquired the rights to THQ, they got some of the rights to SpongeBob games and continued making them to this day. And it all started with their first SpongeBob game released on Nintendo Game Boy Color on March 5th, 2001. Welcome my friends to Bikini Bottom. Let us join SpongeBob. Look out, SpongeBob! What, is he about to get hit by a bus or something?
Because when I need a job done, I get someone with a job to do that.
What is this? He has uncovered something. I didn't edit any of that part out, by the way. It was literally just, here's SpongeBob. Oh no, panic, and then statue. Wow, Mr. Krabs will know what this is. It's a stovetop oven, SpongeBob. You're a fry cook. I would certainly hope that you know what this is. Mr. Krabs, I found a statue. And Mr. Krabs, your nose hasn't filled in. Never mind that, SpongeBob. By great Neptune's beard! That statue marks the entrance to the Dutchman underworld. A long time ago, in the city of Palm Bay, there was a master fry cook. Wait, hold up a minute, Cortex. How do you know exactly what statue SpongeBob was talking about? All he said was that he found a statue. It was right out in the open, so is this a well-known thing? So, Mr. Krabs tells us about the master fry cook who ruled with a golden spatula. Okay, I was going to make a joke about how that's probably not safe to eat with, you know, considering how most metals aren't, like mercury and lead. But no, apparently edible gold is a thing, so instead of a joke, here's some interesting facts about that. But then, Mount Caluvius buried Palm Bay, starting the grease fires that ended the greasy civilization, as legend has it. Oh, I get it. It's a joke on Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii, but I don't get the greasy civilization part. Is that supposed to be a spoof off of Greece? Because Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii was in Italy, which was the Romans. Either way, they're nowhere near where Bikini Bottom is located, which is in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean under Bikini Atoll, which is in between Hawaii and Australia, but whatever, let's just move on. The Flying Dutchman, for some reason, took over the city ruins and gave his first mate the keys to hide it. So it's up to the minimum wage worker to hunt down the keys to a ruined city and fight the ghost pirates. And okay, for a Game Boy Color game, this looks pretty good. I can tell who's supposed to be who, and it looks like I'm in the ocean, which isn't that hard, you just gotta make the background blue. Well, let's just explore the area a bit. Go talk to Mrs. Puff. Okay, not the best way to start a conversation there, Mr. Pinkfish. Well, let's just do some platforming up these coral tree things, and fuck! What the fuck was Bubble Bass doing up here? And yeah, that was a cheap shot. Okay, here, let me see, blow bubbles at him, and then he just runs away.
This makes no sense, and yet it's working.
Okay, this platforming is not great. As you can see, it's really hard to try and jump onto the platform and then have the game realize that you're supposed to be on the platform. I don't know why a lot of platformers are like this, but I got to the swirly vortex thing, so let's just see where it takes us.
Remember, licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets.
Oh, it teleports us a few inches away. Then why the fuck is that? You know what? Let's just move on. So you have to go to Goo Lagoon first to find the anchor. What's the significance of this anchor? I don't know. I thought I was looking for oven knobs, but whatever. Let's just go to the beach and terrorize the beachgoers. And then ride these bubble platforms to get to the other side, and oh my god, a scallop! And the bubbles, they do nothing! And now SpongeBob is naked. Okay, a lot of SpongeBob games has his square pants as health indicators, and I never really truly understood why. My guess is because it's supposed to be funny. But yeah, with that we have our two enemy types of this game. Those that can be beaten by bubbles, and those that can only be beaten by a jellyfish net. And see, the bubbles suck because they're short range, and because they shoot up into an angle like immediately. And the net also sucks because you can't even call this shit short range, it's just so small. And every time you use it, SpongeBob has to plop his feet down and you're stuck in place. And good luck if there's two enemies near you, and if you miss it, which chances are you'll fucking miss it, it also leaves you vulnerable and open to an attack. What makes this even worse is that you can't really tell which enemies are affected by which weapon. Sure, you could think, okay, net for small flying things, bubbles for the bigger things, but that's not really guaranteed. And you can only fuck up twice before having to go back to a checkpoint, or 3 if you go to Mrs. Puff first and become
Hall Monitor!
Then you get 3 hits, but that doesn't really change much. What makes it even worse is that this is the Game Boy Color, so these screens are super fucking tiny, and when you jump up, you move the camera straight up, but most of the time there's going to be someone in the way, like right here, motherfucker! And then there's no way to look up or down to make sure you're not jumping into something, so every leap is a leap of faith. Although, fortunately, there are no lives in this game, so you can just keep dying without having to worry about restarting the entire game. But it's still a pain in the ass with everything else that I just said. It got so bad that I had to start using save states between certain sections, and when I got my health back to full sometimes. Which is what I would have said if I did use save states, which I did not. Nintendo, please do not sue me. I definitely recorded all of this on my Game Boy Color and not on like a third-party system that lets me record in HD. Okay, found the anchor. Don't know why it's just floating in the air, but okay. SpongeBob has found the pirate chest, and now he has to go look for the 4 oven knobs all across Bikini Bottom. Why did we need the anchor? No, seriously, why was the first task to go look for an anchor? Mr. Krabs didn't tell us to go look for it. He did tell us to go to Goo Lagoon, and I guess this was to find the treasure chest, which probably has the map to the other locations, but still. So we have essentially 6 levels to go through, Goo Lagoon being the first one, these 4 areas that hold all the keys, and the Flying Dutchman's place. We also get the net gun and the spring boots. The net gun has limited ammo, but takes the big guys out from farther away, but it still doesn't affect the smaller targets. And besides for like one thing later on, this net gun is kind of useless. And the spring boots are barely used. In fact, I think you could probably go through the entire game without getting any of these unlockable stuff. On our journey, I stupidly decided to talk to my boss, and he decided to give me more work. SpongeBob, deliver this pizza to a customer in the Kelpozoic jungle. How about you go fuck yourself, Mr. Krabs? You already sent me to fight ghost pirates. Now you want me to deliver a pizza in the jungle?
Mr. Krabs, we don't serve pizza. We don't deliver.
Hey, so I did. Took me fucking forever to find them. You know, for a game that has done nothing but tell me what to do, there is surprisingly, like, no direction in this game. Hey, thanks. I've been waiting for this pizza. What, no tip? Oh, but that wasn't the job you needed to do to get the knob. Oh, no. That was just a side quest. For the boss, you gotta wander around for another 10-ish minutes on the other side of this fucking level, till we come across the boss. Huh. Oh, I seem to have stumbled upon a Digimon game. So, is this one of the Dutchman's crew? Or is it just some random guy? I'm guessing he's just a random guy because the dude I delivered pizza to called him Junglefish. I think. But it doesn't make sense why the Dutchman would just leave the keys to random people. Anyway, he's a pretty simple boss fight once you understand what you have to do. Just shoot bubbles at him, and when he's stunned, just hit him with the net gun, and you're done. First key acquired. Don't forget to talk to Mr. Krabs to let him know that you delivered the pizza, in which he'll give us the spatula that SpongeBob used in the first episode, which also gives us the spatula item. All that does is shoot Krabby Patties at people to stun them for a few seconds. It doesn't permanently get rid of them, and they'll get up after a few seconds, but you can just walk past them at least. Also, you then start picking up patties and chests for ammo, but when I used them, it was infinite, so I don't know, maybe the one we got from Mr. Krabs was like an upgrade? Maybe? But that's basically it for the game. You go around the levels, like this desert-themed level, where we have to fight a cowboy, which all we do is toss burgers into this gullet until he's too bloated and can't get up. You know, probably because he's about to explode.
What's gonna happen? Am I gonna blow up?
No, worse, you blow up.
My thighs?
He's not too difficult. The key is to get him with the patties and then jump into this little window to avoid his attack, and then you just drop down real quick and get him again and repeat. It's very simple. The next level I did was just as simple. It's the carnival, or you know, that field of fishing hooks from the episode Hooky. This level was at least generous enough to give me arrows to where I had to go, and no boss. Okay, weird, but whatever. Next level, Jellyfish Fields. Walking by it, I talked to Squidward, who wants jellyfish jelly, which gives us our next side quest, I guess, and Patrick also lost his glasses. Patrick, you don't wear glasses. Oh yeah. Thrilling conversation, Patrick, thank you. Okay, going through Jellyfish Fields, getting the jellyfish jelly for Squidward, and we get to the boss, a giant jellyfish. Is the giant jellyfish part of the Dutchman's crew as well? This boss fight kind of feels like maybe I did the order backwards, because this boss, you just have to use the bubbles. But if that's true, it's kind of neat that you can tackle any of these levels in any order. Now, with that done, I have all 4 keys, and immediately go to the final level. With a jar of jellyfish jelly in our back pockets, I guess, because we couldn't give them to Squidward. Also, it could just be me, but it looks like this thing could have been opened with a crowbar and determination. Okay, final level. It's just the same level as all the others, honestly. The jungle level was probably the hardest. Oh, the final level is rock bottom, it would seem. That we didn't need the fucking keys. Rock bottom is across the street from Bikini Bottom. You could take a bus there. Again, this is just like the other levels, except now we have ghost pirates to deal with, who can be stopped by eating Krabby Patties somehow, and then we come face to face with the Flying Dutchman. And he's as easy as just hit him 5 times with Krabby Patties and then you beat him. All in less than a minute. But game's not over, we have to walk like 2 feet to get the golden spatula. God, that's giving me like Zelda CDI vibes. SpongeBob has found the golden spatula, and now SpongeBob is... Oh, that's an unfortunate position. And then credits. Well, that game certainly wasn't terrible. It wasn't good, it was relatively short, which I guess for like a car trip, that's alright. Besides the camera problems, this game was pretty solid, but like most Game Boy games, there isn't really a whole lot of replay value besides that it's just a handheld game and you might need to pass the time, so why not? But with that done, let's move on to the next 2 games. Operation Krabby Patty and Employee of the Month. Not counting Super Sponge again, I'll probably cover that in a later date. These 2 SpongeBob games were later published by THQ, we already know about them, but the game was developed by AWE Games. What, you never heard of them? Well, that's probably because it looks like they ceased operations in 2010. The games they made seem to be mostly point-and-click style games, with a lot of their game catalog being SpongeBob PC games. And Bratz Rock Angels.
Mix it.
Here you are.
They're also known to recycling a lot of their assets into a lot of their games, so that's a good sign, right? Chances are you probably played one of the later SpongeBob games on the consoles, in which they developed the PC version, which is drastically different. And I have to say, these games are a bitch and a half to run. Why is it so difficult to get older games to run on newer PCs, man? I am not kidding when I said I can only get them to run once. If I exited out of the game to say, like, try and make the game's graphics run better, it would bug out and not want to run anymore, so I would have to reinstall it. And why do games not install with this background anymore? This color is so pleasing, and I also love these bars here that make no sense. The first game we're going to look at is Operation Krabby Patty, released on September 24th, 2001. It was advertised as like getting your very own 2 episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants, which would make these 2 episodes the worst in the early seasons. You'll see what I mean. The game starts with Plankton checking out some questionable material. This is a kid's game, my good sir. And then we get the logo with this strange sound that kinda sounds like something gross while Patrick and SpongeBob laugh. You know, this game just started and already I feel uncomfortable. And then the game starts with the player having to make an important choice. Do we wake up on the right side of the bed or the wrong side? No man should ever be forced to have to make such a difficult decision. Well, let's just try with the right side first.
Let me just grab some pants.
Give me the patty.
Okay, hi, random robot. This is the selection screen for the right side, with the wrong side being the back of SpongeBob's neighborhood. Get it? The Robot Crabs is the first of 5 levels total. That's right, you heard me. The story starts with Plankton gathering an army of sea ants. Oh yeah, remember when Plankton had a bunch of those running around? Who could forget one of the most important parts of the show? The fucking sea ants. Oh, also, please forgive me that the footage is going to look like this, because this was the best the recording software could do. My guess is because this was the resolution back in the olden days, but I couldn't really do anything to fix it. It looked full screen on my monitor, but every time I tabbed out of it, it stopped recording the game, so unfortunately this is the best I got.
Silence! Ah! The time has come to witness. The time has come to witness my greatest creation. Feast your eyes on this. Wait, wrong part.
Okay, what the fuck am I watching? Am I high?
Yes, I have constructed an exact replica of Mr. Krabs.
This reminds me of the Zelda Philips CDI games. Which is the second time I had to mention the CDI games, which is 2 times too many.
Can you please draw the elevator in the correct location?
Every cutscene is like this.
Your job will be to assist Robo-Crabs and collect as many Krabby Patty ingredients as possible.
So, first level, collect Krabby Patties. We use the mouse to move Robo-Crabs to collect separate pieces of Krabby Patty that the ants are carrying and walking around instead of, like, you know, bringing them to the robot like Plankton ordered. There is a time limit, and you have to collect a total of 4 patties for several rounds. And you're stuck running around looking for these fucking ants unless you get the telescope, which will reveal the entire map for you and the location of all the pieces, which you have to do each round. And that's it. No, seriously, that's the entire game. Just watch. So, the ants take the patties and finally stick them up Robo-Crab's robo-ass, but oh no, they're going the wrong way.
Wait! You're going the wrong way, you sea ants! Turn around!
Somehow, I thought Plankton was controlling this thing.
Who's driving? Oh my god, Bear's driving! How can that be?
Also, apparently Squidward is the only person at the Krusty Krab, and he's sleeping through all of this.
Are you insane?
Hey, Squidward? Hey, Squidward! Hey, Squidward! Hey, Squidward! You can't fool me. You want the Krabby Patty formula. I've got to warn Mr. Krabs.
It will take you forever to get to him. He's off on a treasure hunt.
I'll drive to Mr. Krabs.
You don't have a license.
I'll drive to Mr. Krabs.
I already...
I'll drive to Mr. Krabs.
You don't have...
I'll drive.
Oh, my
I'll
Asian
drive to Mr.
tentacles.
Krabs. That's it. I'll go get my license.
Next stage, boating school. Just drive through one of the 3 colored checkpoints while evading obstacles and running over the pedestrians because they don't lower your score or anything. And like the last minigame and all of the minigames, you're going to do this about 5 times before moving on to the next stage. And like every other minigame, you can just get the telescope to tell you where the checkpoints are each round. And for this one, I think that's pretty necessary because they just pop up randomly on the map without any kind of pattern, so it's better to check the map after each checkpoint to figure out where to go. Also, after this, instead of a driver's license, SpongeBob just gets a driver's permit. Which, shouldn't he actually get before getting into a boat?
Are you always this pathetic?
Maybe SpongeBob should have applied for a moron license instead.
And then he just flies off and then falls to where Patrick is just laying. I mean, what are the odds there?
I got it! Ah! Oh yeah, Patrick, laugh at this.
I got it! Haha! Fuck you, Patrick, I got a permit!
Yikes! So much for my learner's permit.
Well, that made that last level completely pointless.
Get it off me! Get it off me, SpongeBob! Look, SpongeBob!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
The carnival is back in town!
Hooks. Why did it have to be hooks?
Next minigame, go to the fishing lure without the cheese, which sends SpongeBob or Patrick up to the surface, where the other one has to collect a certain amount of cheese before time is up, and that person ends up turning into a can of tuna with nothing to look forward to but the smell of mayonnaise. It's fine. I bet you'll never guess this. It's basically the same as every other minigame in this fucking game. You just collect a certain item a certain amount of times. This one changes it up by having the before mentioned Patrick or SpongeBob go up, and then after every 4 cheese that you collect, it switches the characters up. Other than that, it's the same.
Robo-crabs! I've got to warn Mr. Krabs.
Oh yeah, I forgot there is a plot somewhere in this game. So RoboCrabs just shows up for no fucking reason. Seriously, I don't know why the hell it showed up besides the plot couldn't continue without it. You know you're watching a good story when they completely derail it and then they have to lazily fix it.
I like you, SpongeBob.
I'm sorry?
Hold on there, little square dude. I'm way too slow to catch these varmints with my spacesuit on.
I know. How about we sing a song?
So is SpongeBob gonna figure out in like 6 years that she was actually flirting with him? Okay, so next level has SpongeBob and Sandy catch jellyfish, collecting an X amount of jellyfish of a certain color. You can use the pop gun from that episode SpongeBob and Patrick used Sandy's rocket and thought everyone was aliens to shoot the jellyfish from a distance. But the distance and angle is weird, and you only get like 6 shots before you have to go to the hideout rock to reload and switch to either SpongeBob or Sandy. All the while, you have to watch out for a Big Lenny, who just shows up, I guess to reference the show.
The guy who got stung by Big Lenny and lived.
And now it only hurts when you touch it.
This was the only minigame I managed to fail at the end. I don't know, to me it just seems like the time goes down way fast at the end, but it also looks like losing a round doesn't really mean anything because it continued anyway. Maybe it was just because it was the last round or something.
Thanks, SpongeBob.
Ooh, yeah, that was. Oops, I did it again. I still have to warn Mr. Krabs about Robo-crabs. Yikes!
In the name of Texas, hold on, SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs, is that really you?
Hello, me boy!
Well, that's not Clancy Brown.
Arr, swab the deck, walk the plank, wash me.
The amazing Mr. Absorbency!
Oh, yar! Look alive, SpongeBob! The Flying Dutchman's after me money! Prepare the bubble cannons!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Fire at will!
Whose will?
Son of a bitch!
Okay, last minigame. Gotta stop the Flying Dutchman's ghost pirate crew from stealing Krabs' money. Okay, 1. Why the fuck is the Flying Dutchman giving a shit about the money? And 2. These aren't ghosts, these are the pie pirates from Dying for Pie.
Oh, these aren't homemade. They were made in a factory. A bomb factory. They're bombs.
And 3. A lot of fucking help you are, Eugene. The whole time, he's just standing in the middle of the boat pretending to steer when it's stationary while we have to do all of the work. And he has the nerve to get mad at me when a pirate manages to steal some gold. Again, same as all the other minigames. This time you have to get bubbles to reload, and you can't hit the pirates preemptively. You have to wait until they actually steal the gold, which, alright, whatever. And also the Flying Dutchman shows up once in a while to shoot ghost balls at you. Okay, why the fuck is Plankton even bothering with this? Did he forget that he has the patties from the first minigame? Wasn't that what he was after the entire time?
I've been trying to warn you all day about Robo-crabs and the missing Krabby Patties from the Krusty Krab.
Robo-crabs? Sounds like one of Plankton's. college-educated plans.
What? How dare they laugh at me? I did go to college.
Is Plankton going to college still a thing in the newer episodes? I remember that being a really major trait of his in the early episodes.
Press the fire button. No! Save the Krabby Patties! No!
Okay, so as it turns out, SpongeBob, and frankly anyone in this, had no effect on the story, because Plankton just blows up Robo-Crabs, and then all the ants, I guess, also died, because you don't see them outside the robot before it disintegrates. Also, what the fuck happened? You had the patties, you won, dude! Why the fuck did you make the fire button blow up the robot? Why the fuck do you have a fire button inside the robot? Why would you need a fire button on robot crabs?
It just raises too many questions.
I'll be back with a new plan. An even more college-educated plan.
And that's the end of the right side of the bed story. But hold on, we still have another side of the bed to wake up on. The wrong side. When you select the wrong side, you'll see that Gary gets snail-napped.
Oh my God! Good morning, Gary. Surprise!
You're getting warmer.
Gary.
You're getting colder. Press the play button. No, press the play button on the tape recorder.
Okay, how the fuck is Plankton able to record all of this knowing SpongeBob is going to do this? And also before the play button is even pressed.
Oh no, you've hidden Gary!
Whatever. Anyways, back to the story. Gary has been hidden, and, let's see here. Oh yeah, there will be several audio tapes that will contain various missions.
Why?
Successfully complete a mission, you will gain immunity and can't be voted off. Wait a second.
Immunity?
Sorry, that's a different show. Basically, completing missions will provide you with Gary's hidden location.
Okay, so Plankton has kidnapped the Gary and hidden him behind several tape recorders. So SpongeBob has to save Gary. And you gotta help him.
Us.
So first level, we got our learner's permit from Mrs. Puff. That's right, you heard me. It's the same damn boating minigame from the right side of the story. Every minigame you play in this is the same as the previous story. Except, like, mission order, and you play as a different character in, like, 3 of them. So, to save what little sanity I have left, and also to save myself from repeating the rest of the minigames, let me just tell you the difference. The fishing hook minigame, it's Squidward instead of Patrick. Jellyfishing, it's Patrick instead of Sandy. And the collect Krabby Patties level, it's SpongeBob instead of robot crabs. Why Plankton needs SpongeBob to get a driver's permit? I have no fucking clue, but he gets it.
Come in, Patrick. Patrick, come in.
Hey, SpongeBob! Where are you?
I'm right here. I need you to help me catch jellyfish, Patrick.
Who's Jellyfish Patrick?
No, you're Patrick. You have to help me collect jellyfish.
Well, why didn't you just say so? Why are we going so early? It's still dark out.
I woke up this morning and I couldn't find Gary and...
Slow down, SpongeBob. You're speaking too fast.
I woke up this morning and I couldn't find Gary and...
Jellyfishing, here we...
Was everyone who worked on this on drugs during the development of this game? Okay, gotta get jellyfish jelly. We get help from Patrick. And it just occurred to me that there was no fucking point in Sandy getting jellyfish jelly in the last story. Almost like they made the minigame and then tried to make a story around it.
What are you looking for, SpongeBob?
I'm looking for the tape recorder that has my next mission on it so that I can try to find Gary.
What the hell are you on about, SpongeBob? Can't you just use the same one from earlier?
You ate the tape recorder, Patrick?
But no, Patrick found a tape recorder a while back, cause why the fuck not? And we get our next task.
Not smell good.
You have done an excellent job so far. Your next mission will require the collection of Krabby Patties.
Oh, you're really trying my patience, Plankton.
I didn't know you were a doctor, SpongeBob.
That's it, I'm whacking both of you.
Ow.
Look.
Alright, so we have to collect Krabby Patties. And now the sea ants are back. Oh, good. I was worried the story was going to become coherent.
You are gonna hand-deliver the Krabby Patty to me personally.
So let's get this straight, so there's no mistakes. We get the patties with SpongeBob, and then bring them to the eye doctor?
What the fuck is your problem?
Okay, so you collect the Krabby Patties only for the ants to take them over to SpongeBob's house. I thought SpongeBob was collecting patties for Plankton. Why did he send the ants? And why did SpongeBob just go home after that? And what the fuck is this FedEx parody doing here? This story is so fucking stupid. After committing federal crime, SpongeBob gets another tape recorder. Why did Plankton mail it through FedEx?
I'm glad to see you made the right decision about the Krabby Patties. Now the only thing left is for... let's see here. Oh yes, here it is, some cheese.
I've got to get to the carnival.
This tape will self-destruct in 3, 2, 1.
Please turn tape over to side B.
And he wants cheese now, so instead of just going to the store and buying cheese like a smart person, SpongeBob runs to the carnival, which Squidward is at for some reason.
Hey, Squidward, can you help me collect cheese so that I can find Gary? Plankton hid him somewhere in Bikini Bottom.
Why do you need cheese?
While that happens, Plankton sends the ants back to collect everything from SpongeBob's house. You know, you'd think he'd be a little bit smarter with how he words his orders.
SpongeBob, can I have a word with you? You're interrupting my modern dance lesson. I don't care about cheese, Plankton, Gary, or even you.
Yummy cheese.
Cheese.
I'm ready. Ow!
And then we see the cutscene that most people who watch YouTube are probably aware of.
Hey, SpongeBob, now what?
Huh? Hey, Squidward, why do you sound like Patrick?
Because it's really me.
Huh? Hey, Patrick, why do you sound like Willie the Anchovy?
Because it's really me.
Huh? No, I'm really confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too. Who the fuck is Willie the Anchovy?
How did I get surrounded by such losers?
Yikes!
SpongeBob, if you could only see your face, you'd know how stupid you look.
Why did you even think to do this?
Whatever.
Thank you for purchasing the Self-Hypnosis Instructional Tape, a 5-step course for beginners.
5 steps? Let's see here. Learner's permit, jellyfish jelly, Krabby Patties, cheese. What am I missing?
Okay, so this was actually just an elaborate plot to hypnotize himself? You had Gary hostage. You would have won if you just remembered that you told SpongeBob to give you the Krabby Patties. God, this is dumber than the Patrick Star Show.
You forgot the whole reason for hypnotizing yourself. To con yourself when you're under the spell and take your own money. And you also forgot to put the tape in the tape recorder this time, you sea ant.
Sea ant? Seems I have forgotten one minor detail. You must pay me $1 gazillion in order to find Gary.
There's no such thing as $1 gazillion, you goof.
Oh, okay, then bring me, let's say $100.
No, where am I gonna get that kind of money?
What?
Prepare the bubble cannon, SpongeBob! They're after me money!
Okay, so let me get this straight. You guys had no fucking idea how to get SpongeBob to the next level properly, and no, I think that about covers it. You guys had no fucking idea. So after this thrilling minigame, we get our final cutscene.
Thanks for helping me protect me money, SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs, do you think I could borrow $100 so that I can pay Plankton to tell me where he's hidden Gary?
So, Plankton's after me money now, too. Do I have a deal for you?
Well, ugh, what the fuck is up with your claw, dude?
How about if I pay you $1,000 to work at the Krusty Krab for 1 year?
You've got a deal, son. I'll see you at work tomorrow.
4, 5, 6, 40, 30, 12.
Ow! Gary! I finally found you!
Okay, so at the end of the day, Gary just saved himself, and then Plankton just blows himself up. So like the first story, nobody in this story had any connections to anything. God, this game gave me brain rot. And that was Operation Krabby Patty, and I kinda wish I had more to talk about, honestly. From the very first minigame, you can tell what kind of shit this is going to be. All this game is just a collection of 5 minigames that repeat twice, and there's a shit story that they didn't even bother to work on for more than like 4 minutes to make it somewhat like the show. I think it goes without saying, but I'm fairly certain the show was way better than this. Do not ever play this game, honestly. All you're going to do is waste like an hour of your time. If you want to see the cutscenes, just watch them on YouTube. I'm sure they're on there. And now we move on to the third and final game of this review. Surprisingly, AWE Games had a second chance after making this dumpster fire of a game, with a game that's more in line with what they're used to. SpongeBob, Employee of the Month. This game came out on September 22nd, 2002 for the PC, coming out a whole year after Operation Krabby Patty, which came out about 4 days after Super Sponge, which came out several months after Legends of the Lost Spatula. You know, just so we have a grasp on the timeline. Again, we're not going to be talking about Super Sponge because I feel like that can be a video all in itself. These 3, on the other hand, as you saw with the previous 2, they're not actually good enough to talk about in one video each, with this game being the one with the most content to talk about. A lot of the models and assets in this game seem to just be taken and used from Operation Krabby Patty, including the game engine, which you can definitely see with this cutscene.
Okay guys, that's a wrap.
Wait! Don't you want to see my
More junk mail.
Let me guess, free tickets to Neptune's Paradise.
So, while filming, I guess for the show, Mr. Krabs gets some tickets for free in the mail.
Why don't you give them to moron back there for being Employee of the Year?
Oh, SpongeBob's Employee of the Year? Then why the fuck is this game called Employee of the Month?
Very valuable tickets to Neptune's Paradise.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Krabs. You must have spent a fortune on these. Let me tell Patrick. Thanks again.
And being such a good friend, SpongeBob decides to take Patrick with him, and then we start our adventure. Also, please forgive me again for the graphic fuck-ups in this game. For some reason, all the black on some characters just disappear. And when I tried fixing it, I ended up having to reinstall the entire thing. And so SpongeBob with no feet and looking into Patrick's hollow eyes is what you're going to get. And because this is a point-and-click adventure game, you also have the ability to just click on things.
The Krusty Krab. That sign stands for everything good and pure about Bikini Bottom. What would we do without signs like this?
So the first chapter has us at the Krusty Krab.
Did you say Krusty Krab?
That's right! Krusty Krab, home of the world famous!
And we are also introduced to the major concept of this game, puzzle solving. We have a hungry customer and it's up to SpongeBob to figure out the problem.
Hello, faithful customer.
What do you gotta do to get some service around here?
I'm sorry, sir. Was there a problem with your order?
I haven't even been served yet. What's the big holdup?
Well, sir, this is a fast food restaurant. You're going to have to actually go to the cashier and order. No one's going to just come up to you and take your order. Dipshit.
Oh, well then maybe you can help me. I'm trying to find out how to get there. Do you know a way?
Yes. Ask me nicely.
Okay. Could you tell me how to get to Neptune's Paradise, please?
Nope.
Why not?
Because I'm starving. Fix me a Krabby Patty and maybe I'll tell ya.
So this guy knows how to get to Neptune's Paradise, but won't tell us until we give him a Krabby Patty. So we're just going to make a Krabby Patty for him. So let's just grab this dirty plate that someone left and then go to the salad bar that Mr. Krabs had in the early episodes for some reason to get the warm and possibly have been sitting there for hours, maybe even days, fixings. And luckily there's just a plain patty just sitting there to combine the fixings with the plain patty to get a Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
Now we just ignore the weird fact that SpongeBob has a bikini poster of Sandy in his locker and then go over to the sink to clean the plate so you can put the Krabby Patty on it and then give it to the customer.
Here you go, sir. One delicious and slightly nutritious Krabby Patty. Now, can you tell me how to get to Neptune's paradise?
Yes.
Well, how?
There's a bus stop downtown where you can catch a bus to Neptune's paradise every day. Now leave me alone. I'm eating.
Hello? Mr. Krabs? Are you in there?
20, 21, 24. Shiver me timbers, boy! You made me lose count!
Oh, so there's Clancy Brown. Yeah, fun fact, for some reason, Clancy Brown is never really Mr. Krabs in the video games. It's usually two other guys. The guy from the previous game and another dude. I'm pretty sure there's only two of them. I don't really know why. My guess is he's just too expensive for video games. Yet he was Dr. Neo Cortex in Uka Uka and Crash, and Clancy Brown in Detroit Become Human. So I don't really know for sure. So, the bus to Neptune's Paradise is downtown, so we just go on the map and head there and meet up with Patrick. How did he know about the bus and not SpongeBob is anyone's guess, but we need bus tokens, so that's our next task.
Hey, Patrick. I like your hat.
Yeah, it's the newest style. I'm keeping it real.
Walking around, I came across this jewelry store, so I go in and talk to the guy at the counter.
Hello. Nice place you've got here.
You think so?
Yeah, it's real pretty.
Are you yanking my chain?
No, I love it.
Wow, that's really great to hear. Thanks. Just for that, I want you to have this videotape. It's priceless, much like the compliment you just paid me. I can never thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Never look a gift seahorse in the mouth. That's what I always say.
Oh, a videotape. Okay. But was that the only reason to come to the store? Okay, I guess I'll just talk to Patrick to get a hint.
Stumped, Patrick. Do you know where I could find any bus tokens?
Just buy them.
Patrick, you know we don't have any money.
Oh, well, then just go find some buried treasure.
Buried treasure? How am I gonna find buried treasure?
Well, I heard the Flying Dutchman buried some treasure near Goo Lagoon. Maybe you could talk to someone over there.
Okay, talking to Patrick gives us a new location. Goo Lagoon. We have to go look for buried treasure there. Kick the beach ball into the goal, because I thought there had to be a reason for it to be here, but nope.
Yippee!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
So, we gotta go look for buried treasure. So, in order to do that, we gotta go to Larry the Lobster, who has a weird connection to the shovel and pail, and won't give them to SpongeBob.
Say, Larry, are those your beach toys over there?
Yeah, those are mine. Old Shovelly and Mr. Pail.
Do you think I could borrow them?
No way, I love that shovel and that pail. I'm getting all teary-eyed just thinking about them.
Woo! Look over there! A mermaid, and she's looking at you.
Ooh, good thing I haven't fallen off my diet. Where? Hey, there's no mermaid.
So we have a task of distracting him with Grandma's homemade pie. So, of course, that means go to SpongeBob Grandma's place, who also mistakes us for Patrick.
Hi, Grandma. It's me, your most favorite grandson.
Oh, Patrick, is that you? What a pleasant surprise.
Patrick? No, it's me, SpongeBob.
Oh.
Guess what, Grandma? I won tickets to go to Neptune's Paradise for being Employee of the Year.
Patty cakes. I knew you had turned into a good little grown-up. I am so proud of you.
Either Grandma has dementia or she's doing this on purpose. Either way, SpongeBob might want to think about sending her to Sandy Shores. Fortunately, she's already making a pie, but is missing a key ingredient. So that means we have to go to the bargain mart to talk to the cashier who's willing to let us take a bag of urchin chips for free if we wash his car. I'm guessing that kid's not going to have this job for much longer if he just keeps giving away stuff for free. So, SpongeBob washes his car with himself, and this is the only time something like this happens in this game. Dad! And we get a bag of urchin chips. So let's just head over to the back and oh my god, what is going on with Mr. Krabs?
Good grief, he's naked!
With the chips, we head back to Grandma's, who has the pie done already. Sounds like she didn't need the chips then, but SpongeBob just sprinkles it on top, so who knows. Heading back to Goo Lagoon, we give it to Larry and fuck up his entire diet.
Urchin chip pie!
I can't eat that. I'm not allowed. My trainer would get mad.
There's nothing like Grandma's homemade pie.
Okay, let me have it. Look at what you've done to me. I've got love handles.
What, the guy can't have one slice of pie? God, what a sad life he lives. But as he runs off to burn the pie fat, we can quote-unquote borrow the pail and shovel. I never see SpongeBob give it back to him, so I guess we just stole it. But with the shovel and pail, we can finally dig up some treasure, which I expertly got on the first try.
Wow! I found it! A treasure chest full of bus tokens.
But the bus driver won't go because of weather. I guess bus schedules aren't a thing in Bikini Bottom. So we have to get him an umbrella. Luckily, I already did this earlier and got the umbrella from this lady, who I'm fairly certain is voiced by a guy who sounds like he's literally phoning in his lines.
What buried treasure?
Why, the Flying Dutchman's buried treasure, of course. Legend has it, the Flying Dutchman buried his most precious treasure on the shores of Goo Lagoon. I suspect it's somewhere along this very beach.
But we already have the umbrella, so here you go, bus driver. That's certainly going to help keep the weather off of you while you're inside a sealed bus.
It's picking up. Can't you smell the coming storm? I don't know if it's safe. Besides, that's a parasol.
Oh, please! I just gotta get to the park. I just gotta.
Well, okay. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Yahoo! Neptune's paradise, here we come!
I have a bad feeling about this. Jeez.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the whole sea?
Yeah, that is pretty annoying.
But I didn't say anything yet.
You don't need to.
Silence, you ignorant buffoons!
God, what can I even say about the cutscenes at this point? They all boil down to, let's just constantly have them make noise and do stuff. I will give the Employee of the Month cutscenes this, though. They actually connect to the story and bring us to the next area, unlike the last game where it barely connected. Moving on, it turns out that the bus driver was actually right about the weather. Like, holy shit, this weather turned bad very quickly. And we end up in Rock Bottom. In order to move on from here, we gotta talk to this lady for information, but she's not going to talk to us unless we give her a kelp bar, which we can use in the vending machine outside with a quarter that I randomly found by going into the bathroom, and SpongeBob being so stupid, apparently, he just fell through the sewage system.
Oh, that's real nice.
Oops, fell in. Well, at least I got the gold.
Seriously, I was exploring and I somehow ended up going to the correct path. It's funny how that works sometimes. Anyway, following that, it brings us to the weather station, which is kind of weird that Rock Bottom has that. And also, while that happens, the narrator tells us that Patrick is drinking with Mermaid Man. Why is Mermaid Man here?
You're doing fine.
Ah, look at the little Patrick. He is busy showing the mermaid man who can drink more cola. Life can be so wonderful, no?
That was a great scene.
We go to the weather station because SpongeBob wants to talk to the weatherman to find out when the storm's going to clear up. But they're not letting anyone in unless they're the repairman.
Event. Everything is going wrong and you are quite obviously not a repairman. So please come back tomorrow for a tour. Thank you.
I'm not here for the tour.
Well, what are you here for then? I'm very busy.
Ooh, Operation Krabby Patty. That was my very first game.
You fucking liar! So we need to pass as a repairman, so we go to behind the weather station to talk to this repairman, who's going to let us borrow his tools if we get him a soda. Fortunately, I got a can from this guy who just happens to look like the guy I made a Krabby Patty for at the beginning, in a moment that did make me chuckle.
Nice can.
Yep, Kelpsy. Great stuff. And the cans are very aerodynamic. Good for kicking.
Can I have it?
If I let you have this can, what would I do to pass the time waiting for the bus?
You could talk to me.
Look, no offense, little guy, but I'd rather watch paint dry.
There's paint drying? Where? I want to see.
Oh, boy.
Sorry I took your can.
No problem. I hate you.
With that soda, we gotta go to that bar that Patrick was at, where we find Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy in the parking lot, with Mermaid Man making weird, gross noises and his bottom half gone because of that glitch I mentioned earlier. So we gotta go to the bar, talk to the bartender, who is to help Mermaid Man and is stupid enough to leave a complete stranger to watch the bar. And while we watch the bar, we use the Diet Cola keg to fill the can.
That keg is full of diet caffeine for... I don't want to do that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant take this random mug and then go fill the mug with the soda and then combine the can with the mug for some reason, and that's how you do it. So now that we have that, we give it to the guy and take his tool so we can go into the station.
Wow. Aren't you Gary Gulper, the weatherman?
Why, yes I am. Aren't you lucky?
Can you tell me when this weather is going to clear up? I need to get out of this place as soon as possible.
Wow, this really is your lucky day. Here at WSEA, we have just finished building a weather-controlling thingamajig. Once we unveil it, the weather will always be clear in Rock Bottom.
Ooh!
Wow, a device that can control the weather? That sounds like terrorism.
Indeed! Think of the increased tourism. And the increased fame for yours truly.
Yes, the increased fame when I threaten the government and hold the nation for ransom.
Why is there a guy out back working on the antenna?
Ugh, don't get me started. The Megascreen 2000 has been acting up lately. It maps the weather around Rock Bottom with amazing accuracy. And yet, in the past few weeks, it's been giving us some very strange readings. It shows a zone of perfect weather that never changes. Never a drop of rain falls there. This is obviously impossible. It has to be broken.
Oh yeah, sure, this weather definitely has nothing to do with the fucking weather controlling machine you just said you created. So we look into the zone of perfect weather, which leads us to a fucking wizard. Yeah, no, seriously, a wizard out of fucking nowhere. And Patrick is here sleeping for some reason.
No, controlling the weather is my job. But those meddlers are in for a surprise. I magically sealed the vault door to the device. Now they can't even get to it. That'll teach them.
Do you have anything to do with all this bad weather around here?
I'm the fucking weather wizard, you moron. What do you think? So this wizard is feuding with the weather station because they made the weather dominator, so he sends SpongeBob to go and destroy it. And he gives us a wand to help us gain access to the control room, which immediately brings us to the next chapter.
Okay, Patrick, now be real careful.
I can do it! I'm winning!
Faster, Patrick!
I scored!
Toot toot!
My turn!
That's it! I've had enough of these two clowns. Uh-oh, I think we're running out of gas.
Hey, you got gas?
Candy! Yep, out of gas.
Oh, no!
But unfortunately, the bus driver, I don't really blame him at this point, abandoned SpongeBob and Patrick back into the Bikini Bottom, so we have to find an alternative method of transport. Going into the diner with Patrick, it leads us to delivering baby back ribs to Sandy. Giving them to her, she offers us a ride in a rocket, so we gotta go back to the pineapple and get our water helmet. But oh no, there's a king cobra in the helmet! Don't you just hate it when that happens? So, of course, the way to solve this is to go to the hippie store to get some hypno glasses so we can go into Squidward's house while he's sleeping, to use the glasses onto him to get into his dreams so that we can convince him to lend us his clarinet so we can use the clarinet on the snake. And then the snake just goes and hides in the house somewhere. Good luck with that, Gary. Hope you survive this.
Gary, now I know messed up, and now you're gone.
Hey, SpongeBob, what you doing?
Gee, Patrick, it's about time you showed up. I'm helping Sandy fill up the rocket with oxygen fuel. Ow.
I set a new record down at the diner for the most sandwiches ever eaten.
That's great, Patrick. Let's get on board while the rocket finishes fueling up.
I don't feel too good.
Visual pilots. Check. Okay, cowboys. Safety belts. Check. Time to put on your safety belts.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Safety belt secure.
You see that switch there? Turns on the headlights.
Are we there yet?
And that switch
Are we there yet?
honks the horn. And this gauge shows how deep we are.
Are we there yet?
And these switches here are for the
Are we
ejection.
there yet?
Don't touch those.
Are we there yet?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Are we there yet?
I have to go to the bathroom.
And the most important gauge of all.
Are we there yet?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Is this the human condition of madness, leader? It is.
Fuel. SpongeBob.
Are we there yet?
What happened to all of our oxygen?
Because Patrick is a blight on society, Sandy's rocket wasn't filled with enough oxygen fuel. I don't know how that works, so we have to go collect some more. The oxygen place that we can go to refill it is members only, and we need a jacket to get in. That's apparently the only form of identification they have. Sandy brings us to an old friend of hers that she says has a jacket, but as it turns out, he does not. But there's a restaurant that requires a jacket to go in, and they'll just lend you a jacket if you need one. So we gotta call and get the location, and I gotta say I'm a little upset that this phone doesn't have any kind of Easter egg in it.
8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 1, 9.
It's 8675309, you fucking idiot.
I think I dialed the wrong number.
Doing some more running around, we finally get in, get our jackets, get a seat, and the waiter shows up. Larry?
Welcome to Sublime Seafood. Would you like to hear the specials, or are you ready to order?
Could you tell me about the specials?
Why, of course. We have a kelp salad with basil vinaigrette dressing.
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
The kelp is grown in our very own simulated organic forest.
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
And the vinaigrette is aged 400 years in oak barrels from the Titanic.
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
It is very mild, very sweet, and très delicious.
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
We also have the sand cake tartare. The sand cakes are firmly packed by Finn and are 100% shell-free.
I'm ready to order.
What can I get you?
I'll have a Krabby Patty.
What? Krabby Patty? Well, I never get out.
Oh, poor SpongeBob.
I will gouge out your eyeballs and skull fuck you!
So after SpongeBob pisses the guy off, he kicks us out with the jacket, and with that we can finally get in. And then we see that Patrick is here. How the fuck did he get in here?
Patrick, what are you doing here?
I'm relaxing. The oxygen bath is sweet.
But how did you get in here? I've been running around trying to find a jacket just so they'd let me in. Where's your jacket?
Jacket? Nobody said anything to me about a jacket.
But the camera at the gate, didn't it say anything to you about a dress code?
I didn't come through a gate. I just climbed over some coral. I really needed to use the bathroom.
Well, hurry up and get out. I gotta get oxygen from this geyser.
I can't get out. I'm not wearing any pants.
And now we have to get his pants. Gross. But with that, we can finally get oxygen and then get out of here, completing the game. Yeah, that's right. This is the last chapter.
All right, Sandy. We got the oxygen tanks filled.
Yeah, and I'm all clean now, too.
Great!
SpongeBob. Free rides!
Patrick, we finally made it to Neptune's paradise!
Yeah, I can hardly wait. We're gonna be the first in line.
Doesn't seem like it's very crowded.
Sorry, guys.
Where is everybody?
Park's closed.
Huh? But we have special tickets to get into the park, see?
Yeah, see?
Those tickets are for next week. See? This week we're having a private party for somebody named, let's see here, Spring Boob Squirepin.
That's SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, I mean SpongeBob SquarePants.
That's me! Surprise!
Hi there, SpongeBob.
What? What? What the fuck? What? So this was all a surprise party thing for SpongeBob? What? How? What? You know what? Forget it. The game's over. And so that was the first 3 SpongeBob games, not counting Super Sponge. And I'm gonna be honest, they kind of all sucked. I know they're kid games, but even as kids games, these weren't great. The worst game of the 3 being Operation Krabby Patty, which is nothing but a cheap minigame fest, which, if the minigames weren't just 5 variations of the same thing, it might have been passable. The Game Boy Color one being okay, I can see someone playing this a few times if they had nothing better to do, but the Game Boy had tons of good games on it, and chances are you would have had some of them. But it wasn't completely horrible. Employee of the Month being the best of the 3, I do like point-and-click games like the Humongous Entertainment games or games like the King's Quest games from Sierra, and it being kind of nonsensical and insane made it entertaining to go through. I really wish I had more to talk about with these games, but hey, the other PC games are apparently like Employee of the Month, so I do hope I get to talk about them in the future. And I hope you guys are still around in the future to see that happen. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like down below, and also subscribe to my channel so you can be alerted to when new videos are out. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, you guys take care.